be fine. So welcome. Inspired by the moon, but I'm just keeping the theme of creative flow. So enjoy. So we're going to start seated and get yourself to a place where you're nice and comfy, and sit bones are just grounding. Feel that connection with the mat. And if you are feeling any tension in the hips, then draw the ankles away from you. Give yourself space, and that might allow you to feel a little bit more relaxed in the hips as well. Might want to take a little mudra if you wish, or just gently rest the palms. And then allow yourself to sink with the shoulders and allow the shoulders to relax. And the spine just to feel like it's starting to lengthen. We're going to work with the breath. So we're going to take an exhale that's longer than the inhale. Shuffling. So we're going to inhale maybe for 2 counts. And exhale maybe for 3 or 4. It's whatever suits your breath. So inhaling. And the exhale just that slightly bit longer. And just work with your own breath and your own pace. Allowing the body to relax. And then bring the breath just gently back to an inhale and an exhale. And then we're going to bring a hand down to the mat. So it might be your right hand. And then inhale the opposite hand all the way up. And stretch forwards and towards the mat. Stretching through the side body. Inhaling, lift all the way back up to center and across to the other side. Matching the same movement on the other side. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale back to center. And lift again. Just flow through the movement. All the way back up. And then bring your hands all the way in front of you and just gently stretch through. You can draw the chin into the chest. Stretch through the back. You might want to come further down. You might even want to bring the forearms to the mat. It's wherever you are. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Interlace the fingers behind you and just gently draw the shoulders down, stretch and open the chest at the front. Inhaling and exhaling as you go. Bring the fingers to the front, push the palm away and curl back in to little cat, seated cat. All the way back up to center. And take a moment here just to ground. Maybe take the chin to the chest. If you set an intention in your practice, maybe something to take with you after the practice tonight, then now's the time just to have a think. And we're gently going to take the feet to one side and bring ourselves to our knees. So just be mindful of your knees here. And then we're just going to sit back gently onto our heels and allow our hands to walk back. And we're going to stretch through the front body. And this is something we're going to do in one of the little flows that we're going to just try. Hopefully this is comfy for you. If there's any tweaking, then keep the pose up a little higher. And then you can allow yourself, if you wish, you can allow yourself to relax the back of the neck, or you can just keep it so it's got some support and you're looking just gently up. So don't hurt the back of the neck. And then move all the way forwards. And we're going to come to tabletop. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hip points. Take a moment here, push away from the mat and feel the shoulders just start to give you a little bit of support. And breathe. Inhale, exhale. Walking the hands forwards a little bit. We're going to come to down dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips, and just bring movement to this down dog. Allow yourself just to walk, maybe circle the ankles. And then come to stillness and down dog and just think about your pose. So pushing into the fingers, allowing space, and anchor the left foot. Inhale the right, just into tripod, and you can just raise the toes, but keep the shoulders square to the front of the mat and keep hips square to the front of the mat. So if you feel like you're going off to one side, just bring that leg down a little. And then if you wish, you can stack. So you can open that hip, only if you wish. And again, keep even weight in the hands. All the way back down to the mat. Opposite side, weight the foot. Inhale, lift into three-legged dog or tripod. Again, keep the shoulders, see if you can keep the shoulders in line. Keep breathing here. So just bring that left shoulder back slightly, Emma. So back, that's it, towards you. That's it. And then stack if you wish. Taking a moment with the breath. And then all the way back. We're going to come all the way back to our knees. And then sink back and come into that little stretch. So you can either do a child's pose if you wish. That might be where you want to go, or you can incorporate a little stretch to the front body as well. Either way is fine. And then coming forwards, we're going to play with a really simple flow. Gives us a little bit of strength as well. So watching shoulders, you can, there are variations if you wish, because it's going from a plank to chaturanga to plank. So if you're not so keen plank, chaturanga, plank, then you can, because we're just doing a little dip down, you can bring knees and you can do a little half plank dip. So it just takes a little pressure off the shoulder. Okay, so it's just a little strengthening pose as well, strengthening flow. So we're going to come to plank. So really be mindful of your alignment and placement, and draw yourself and push into the heels. So really think about, where are your hands? Are they stacking underneath your shoulders? Are you pushing into the heels? The feet just about hip width apart. And we're going to inhale. And exhale, dip a little. So half plank, or come into a little plank push up. And then all the way back up again. And then bring the knees down on an exhale. Inhale, cow. We'll get the hang of it in a minute. Exhale, cat. Inhale as we walk the hands back to that little hip lift, and I've started too far back. Stretching through the body. Exhale as we come forwards, back to tabletop. Inhale. Walk the hands, exhale on a down dog. Shift forwards and come back into plank. So we'll try that little flow again. So you can see and just rest a moment if you want to, you can stay in plank. You can see that the plank dip, there's that just a little bit more on the shoulder. Plank, dip to chaturanga, and then back up again. So you can either keep the plank quite high and just dip a little, or you can use the knees to support. Or if you want to come totally off and you want to really kind of get some heat going, you could use your forearm plank. And you could do, but only if you haven't got a bad lower back. You can do a little hip dip if you wish, and then come back up to forearm plank. So there's options if you want to come off your wrists as well. So we'll go through that and we'll then just work with the breath. So it's just a little thing to warm up and get some strength going. So come into plank. So high plank here, so push into the feet, engage that core. Inhale. Exhale, little dip down, as low as you want to go. Inhale, back up to plank. Exhale, knees come to the mat. Turn your feet flat if you wish. Inhale to cow if you wish. Exhale to cat. Inhale as we come to that little hip lift. Give yourself lots of room, finding radiators to come back to that little hip lift. To come forwards a wee bit. And then forwards to tabletop. Inhaling and then exhaling into down dog. And just you can float yourself over all the way back into plank. And now you can mix it up if you wish. You can come to forearm plank if you wish, or stay in plank. So we're going to stay wherever. We're going to do that flow again. So come back into plank. Inhale. Exhale to chaturanga. Your variation, dipping down. Inhale, back up to plank. Take a moment here. Bring the knees back down. Draw yourself into cow. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Walk yourself back as you inhale into that little hip lift, stretching through the front body. Exhaling as we come forwards into tabletop. And then take an inhale and prepare yourself to come up into down dog on the exhale. Either come to a child's pose, or we can go through the flow again, all the way forwards to plank. So you should be feeling some heat now, so this is a good one for winter. So exhale to your little dip, your chaturanga or your half plank. Inhale all the way back up. Draw the knees down on an exhale. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale as you walk that hip lift back and that front lift through the front body. Stretching through the front body. Exhale as you come forwards into that tabletop position. When you reach tabletop, take an inhale. And then prepare yourself, exhale for down dog. All the way back up to down dog. And then bend the knees and either step or hop to the front of the mat into forward fold. And take a moment in forward fold. So bring the weight over the feet. Push into the heel. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees slightly, push into the feet again and draw yourself all the way back up to standing. And we're going to take the thumbs and we're going to interlace the thumbs. And we're going to play with this as part of a flow. So you can if you want, although we're going to step back to high lunge, so actually you might want to keep feet slightly apart. If you want to challenge yourself, you can keep feet together, wherever you are. Inhale, lift. And then we're going to come into a forward fold. So bend the knees, allow yourself to come forwards and just allow the hands to separate. Bend the knees a little if you need. Bring the thumbs behind you and interlace them again behind you, and allow yourself into that little bowing mudra where the arms can come up and back. Inhaling and exhaling here. We're going to bend the knees, sweep the hands forwards and up into chair. So make sure you can see your toes, really sinking at the ankles, sinking at the knees, really push into the heels. Take a moment here. Hands come to the heart. Going to come across to the right hand side into a little revolve chair. All the way back to center and across to the other side. All the way back to center. Interlace the fingers, sweep all the way up high. And hands to the heart. Draw the right leg all the way up. Right leg. And we're going to step all the way into a high lunge. Interlace the fingers, sweep the thumbs, interlace the fingers, interlace the thumbs. There we are, wrong part of the body. It's always something. And then exhale, cactus arms. It's as if you are now on a tightrope. You're going to be really pushing yourself with your balance. Interlace the thumbs again, sweep forwards. And cactus arms. Airplane arms behind you. We're going to come into standing warrior three. So lift up and come forwards into your warrior three. Well done. Just take a moment and just work on that standing leg, Anna. Just the ankles, mine's wobbling all over the place. And then bring hands down to the mat, standing split. We're going to join in a minute at the front of the mat. And then bring that back leg all the way forwards, back up to one-legged mountain. Interlace the thumbs. You're still wobbling like me on my ankle, it's not going to behave today. And then hands to the heart, requiring a huge amount of concentration there, Amanda. Well done. And then all the way down, that's brilliant. Just find the balance at the top of the mat, and did say if you're challenging yourself when your feet are closer together, it's good. Take a moment in mountain. Yeah, you know what's coming now. Now, interlace the thumbs again. And just see what thumb you've got on top. Swap them. Might feel a bit weird. Inhale, sprain gym. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Release the hands, draw them behind you. See if you can keep the same thumb grip. Bring your weight over the feet and allow the hands to rise. Sweep the hands all the way forwards, lift again, all the way up. See if you just swapped the grip of your thumb. Swap it back to the odd one. And then release the hands, unrelease the hands, and then sink into chair. Oh dear. Dear, dear, dear. Not enough gin tonight, obviously. Hands come to the heart. I'm joking, by the way. Across to the opposite side, revolve chair. All the way back up and across to the other side. Now we're going to be working On the opposite leg, so bring the opposite leg now forwards and up. Interlace those thumbs if you wish. Take a wee balance here. Really find that focal point in front of you. Push through that standing leg. It's really tricky. And then sweep hands to the heart and step back into high lunge. Interlace the fingers again, thumb again, lift up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift. Cactus arms. Bring the hands behind you, airplane arms, move forwards into that warrior 3 pose. Take a moment there, so it can just be as high or as, that's it, lovely Laura, good Anna, nice variation. Is it easier, Amanda, to bring your hands slightly down? Would that help, or is it better with them up? Amanda's going to fly. Lovely, Emma. You've got really nice focus tonight, Emma. Lovely concentration there. Bring it to standing splits if you wish, the front of the mat. Pushing into that standing leg. You might wish to bend the knee a little. And then draw that leg all the way, the knee all the way, so we're coming into standing one-legged mountain. Interlace opposite thumb, draw yourself all the way back up. Both feet together, hands to the heart. Take a moment here, heart, hands at the heart center. Maybe even gently close the eyes. Sweep the hands, lift, sinking into chair. Hands again to the heart. We're going to lift the right knee up towards us, again into that little balance. And then cross at the ankle and sink back down again. If you have the beginning of any arm balance, you're very welcome to start to keep going towards the mat and start to come down, if you can, onto the back of the arm. Very welcome to have a wee play. Sometimes you need to hop and give yourself a little space. Just working. If not, just playing. Just balancing. And then lift all the way up. And release the leg. Opposite side, lifting through. And bending at the knee as you support the ankle across. Again, you might want to start to come down to the mat if you wish. And you might find that you start to bring the back of the kind of knee, below the knee, towards the back of the arm. You might not, absolutely fine wherever you are playing. Lift all the way up, draw that knee up and down. Tadasana at the front. Hands to the heart. Folding at the hips all the way down. And we're going to step to plank. Pushing into plank. And then bend the knees, lift the hips to down dog. Now we're going to play with the vinyasa, so any lower back issues, stick to a normal vinyasa. If not, you can do a one-legged vinyasa. So we're going to actually come to tripod, down dog. And if you're sticking to a normal vinyasa, stick to down dog before you move to vinyasa. If not, we're going to shift forwards and come all the way forwards with that one-legged and then transfer into up dog. You'll get the hang of it, it's fine, just throwing that one in. A little bit of a curveball. Push all the way back up to down dog. Try it on the other side. Can aggravate the SI joints by doing kind of a tripod kind of variation of vinyasas, just be mindful. So I'm tripod, I lift up onto the toes, move myself forwards into almost a one-legged high plank, and then as I come into little up dog, I kind of shift my weight. And then roll back all the way to down dog. Bring the knees all the way down to the mat. And sink back into child's pose. Take a moment whether one layer's off. Just take a moment. Oh, I'm not sure about that though. Ooh, it was quite warm. And then draw yourself rising all the way up to all fours. And we're going to play again with down dog, so up to down dog. And we're going to play with this little vinyasa wave. So we're going to come from down dog, we're going to lift up and come forwards to plank. And then to come back, we're going to bend the knees and push the hips up high in a little kind of dancing movement. So we go over into plank, bend the knees, push the hips back up into down dog. So you've got a little kind of dancing movement. I can do that sideways this side if anyone needs to see this side. So kind of come over to plank, bending the knees, lift up, back to down dog. So it kind of starts to become a little wave of a movement. Playing with that movement, you'll start to feel the arms. And then come all the way back to plank. Floating cobra. We're going to drop the hips forwards, gaze forwards. Strong pose, be careful of your backs. Push all the way back to down dog. And step to the middle of the mat. Allow yourself forward fold. Maybe lift up a heel, straighten and stretch a leg if you wish. Make sure that weight is over the feet though. There's a real tendency in a forward fold to kind of push our weight back. So the weight then comes into the hips. So bend the knees and bring the weight over the legs. Inhale, flat back. Exhale all the way down. And then push all the way back up. Big sweep of the arms. And come back into mountain. Taking a moment here. Drop the shoulders. Adjust the many layers. And we're going to play with a flow now. It's a moon flow, and this moon flow requires length of a mat. So I'm happy to go this way. So Emma and Anna and Amanda, you probably wouldn't see, but so I'm just wondering if you want to adjust yourselves, or Vicky, you could probably go right across there. If you want to move your mat, you could stagger your mat. We're going to do it 3 times, so it is worth moving your mat to make yourself feel comfy. Emma, you could move your mat there if you want to. So Anna can move, you're fine there.
Are we going sideways?
Yeah, we're going to go sideways on the mat. So we've got enough space tonight to move, but you need to be able to see me. So it doesn't matter what way round you do this. That's brilliant, as long as you're comfy with the distance you've got, so we're fine. So come into the centre of the mat and take a moment here. So bring the feet together and really zip up. So push through the heels and allow yourself to draw that energy in the inner thigh. But allow the top body to be soft. So really relax those shoulders. There we are, Corrie. Saw them drop. You know, I am a meerkat. You need to drop those shoulders, allow them to relax. And we're going to work with those thumbs again. So if you liked the different interlace of the thumb, choose that. Doesn't matter which way. And we're going to inhale and we're going to just allow the top of the body and all the way through the core. So feel that front torso stretch. Try not to stretch the shoulders though. So not pushing up the shoulders, but actually stretching through the front body. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to go across one way. Now it doesn't matter which way, you can just mirror wherever you are. But we cross and slightly forwards. Grand. Inhale back to centre. Exhale across to the other side. Inhale all the way back to centre. Coming into a star shape, so allow the hands at the top to come either side and step with the toes facing out, either side into a lovely star shape. And really root into those heels. Feel the anticipation of the core. So we're going to use the core here for a wide fold. So inhale, bend the knees very slightly, and as we do, bring the weight over the feet. You can bring hands to the heart if you wish, coming into a wide fold, and then if you wish, allow yourself to come all the way down to the mat as well. Totally up to you. You can use a block if you want to bring, that's brilliant, Amanda. You can use wherever you are. Bend the knees if you need to as well, but try and keep that weight into the heel. And then we're going to push back up, using the heel and the core to anticipate into star. Now we're going to come to one side. So I would suggest coming to this front of the house. Laura, come towards me in a minute, okay? So you know which way you're going, so you can see me. I'll be backwards to you, doesn't matter. And then we're going to wide fold across now to the front of the house, to that side of the foot, and stretch. Now you can hop, just don't have to go all the way down, or you can just drape the body. Inhale all the way back up to star. So you're using your heels, really push. And exhale to the other side. Bend that knee if you need to, if the hamstring's feeling tight. That's it, that's grand. Inhale all the way back up to star. And exhale now to this side. And as we do, turn to a low lunge. Plant the knee. You can keep the foot tucked if you wish, or you can flatten it and sweep low lunge, crescent moon. We're going to sweep the hands behind us as we draw the knees together, and then sweep the hands all the way up, camel base, crescent moon arms. Hands come forwards, same side foot comes forwards again, and now you're stepping up to a pyramid. Pyramid can be a folded pyramid, or it can be hands at the heart, drawing yourself halfway up, but bend, soften that front knee, that's it. So we don't want you to lock that. Keep breathing here. Pushing into the heels, drawing the heels towards each other. All the way back up. Turning to star, back to star, where we kind of started. And then fold the opposite side. And as we fold to the opposite side, turn round to low lunge. Draw the knee down to the mat, lift and sweep the hands, low lunge, crescent moon. Now you'll know why we started on the other side. You learned from the last class. Sweep the hands behind you, bring the knees together, and then sweep the hands all the way up. Lovely. Frame your foot same side, so Foot comes forwards again, stepping up to pyramid. Wherever your pyramid practice is, you can bring your hands up to the heart if you wish. You don't have to drape across that front leg. And then we move all the way back round to the front of the mat into a big star. Now we're going to come to Malasana, so it's a gentle Malasana before we go to a fold. So we bring hands gently down, and as we come down gently, it's quite a wide Malasana, we then lift the hips and draw the feet underneath us into a fold. So you can heel toe, or if you want a little bit of dynamic, you can hop. You're now into a fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And you can sweep the arms all the way back up overhead into mountain. And we're going to go through that just a couple of times so we just get that moving, okay? So with the pyramid, if you are thinking about the foot's going just slightly out to the side. That front knee, Emma, I saw you adjust yours, which was brilliant, because if we push it back, we're locking that front leg. So just a softness in the knee there, and allowing yourself that length at the hips, and then kind of forward fold, even if it's an adjustment. So try to keep your adjustment. So Anna, I saw you do the adjustment here. Try and keep it slightly higher, because as soon as we kind of push down there, we're still quite rigid at the hips, and we're now putting a lot of pressure on the back of the legs. So if you draw height into that modification, it doesn't matter, you're still working your legs really, really hard here, drawing into the heels. But if you're going to the forward, allow yourself, and you can drape the body then, because you're not holding weight with the top body, you're just allowing it to drape. But at that point where you come up, so that's your choice there. And it's the same with the wide fold. The wide fold, again, softening knees, so I'm not going down with locked knees. I'm really pushing into the heels, and that is really activating the core to support. I'm inhaling to lengthen, and I'm allowing the weight into my heels as I come down. Now, if I'm halfway, that's fine. It's that kind of tipping point again, because then I allow that softness, and that's when you use the block. And I saw Mandy, that was good, having that modification there with the block. So just choose wherever you are. And that wide fold, the tendency for any fold is that we come down and we sink back, so that my weight's kind of going that way. What I want you to do is actually draw weight into the heels and allow yourself forwards. Not too forwards, you do a forward roll. Right. So we'll play with that again. Are we all right with any questions there? You all okay? Good. Excellent. So start in the centre of your mat. Again, you can really work to engage the legs here. So big toes slightly towards each other. Push into the heels. Allow that top body softness. Maybe even close the eyes just for a moment with the balance here. Interlace the fingers, the thumbs, the fingers. Inhale, before we go up. Exhale across, side bend. Inhale, up. Exhale across. Inhale all the way back up. Step to star. Take a moment here with star. Opening the chest, pushing into the heels. Inhale. And as we fold, you can allow the hands to come to the heart. Bend the knees very slightly, engage the core. Draw yourself to your variation. Might be hands come all the way to the mat. Allow the head to hang. Push through the heels, inhale all the way back to start. Exhale, allow soft bend in the knees across to one side. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale across to the other side. Inhale all the way back up. And turn as you come towards that low lunge. Drop the knee, flatten the foot if you wish, and sweep hands, low lunge, crescent moon. As you bring the knees back together, sweep the hands back and then lift all the way up. Frame your hands, step the same foot, coming to pyramid variation, step to pyramid variation of your choice. Push all the way back up, open to star. Turn to the opposite side. Frame the foot, low lunge. Sweep, inhale, lift, low lunge, crescent moon. As you bring the hands back, draw the knees together and then sweep the hands high. Hands frame, same foot. This side, steps up pyramid. Stepping into pyramid. Push all the way back up. Star. Wide Malasana as we come down, squat pose, and then hips come all the way up, heel toe hop, so that we come to forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Sweep all the way up, lift up high, mountain, hands to the heart. Take a moment here with mountain. Interlace the fingers, maybe opposite thumb. Interlace the thumb. I need to say that. Exhale to one side. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale across. Inhale all the way back up. Step or jump to star. Inhale, lift through the body, push through the heels, hands come to the heart, wide fold. Take a moment here, you can stretch the legs if you wish. And then push through the heels, draw yourself all the way back up to star. Fold one side, on an exhale. Inhale, back up to star, really push through those heels. Exhale across to the other side. All the way back up to center, and we're turning now as you exhale, fold across the opposite leg, coming into low lunge. I've swapped, so I've just confused you. So it's the, when I said it's the foot nearest wall, it doesn't matter, you do it both sides, Vicky. Sweep the inhale, low lunge, crescent moon. And then as we exhale, draw the knees together and sweep the hands high. Bring the hands down, frame the foot, step to pyramid, lift up to pyramid. Push all the way back up to star. Opposite side now as we fold. Turn and frame to low lunge. Sweep the hands, low lunge, crescent moon. Sweep the hands behind you and then all the way back up, lovely Anna, into a little camel pose. Variation. As you bring your hands down now to frame the foot, step into pyramid. Your variation in pyramid. Some really nice variations, lovely. You can always use 2 blocks if you have them, either side of the foot. And then sweep all the way back up into star. Doesn't matter, Vicky. Doesn't matter at all. Taking a moment here, we're going to sink down into Malasana. And as we do, lift the hips up high,
and hop back into a fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale all the way down. Maybe take the hands to the elbows and allow yourself just into dangling pose. And then push all the way back up, sweeping the hands high and hands to the heart. Coming back to the centre of the mat now. We're going to now work the mats back and forward, so if you want to bring your mat back into the circle, Vicky. Emma, if you want to come over as well. This is a nice flow just to go and play with and to add, and you can add loads into it. So linking the thumbs again. Inhale, lift. Lots of stretching through. Exhale as we fold, bend the knees really generously, bring the hands behind you, coming into bowing mudra. Take a moment here with the breath. Sweep the hands forward, sink into chair. Hands come to the heart. Sink a little deeper in chair. Fold as we bring the body forward and bring the hands gently to the mat. We're in the middle of the mat here for a reason. Take your standing leg, maybe the right leg first, and then just lift up into little standing split. You can support yourself with 2 blocks if you wish to bring the mat up a little higher. And just not to aggravate any lower back issue, you can also bring the leg down lower. So I've got my toes pointing towards the mat rather than lifting up. So it's really wherever you're comfy. And we're going to work on balance here. We're going to push into that standing leg, and as we do, lift the hands off the mat, draw the knee all the way up into a one-legged mountain. Really keep that concentration. And then all the way back. You can be a bendy wavy tree if you wish. All the way back down. And then back to that one-legged mountain on the same side. So really working. Use the core in anticipation here. So drawing, knitting the ribs in if you need a little bit of lift. Really pushing into that standing leg. All the way back down to the mat. Now your choice here. We can take a moon pose, so if you do have a block, and I'm going to grab a block, so it's much easier with a block. Taking that block and just lifting up, and remember, as we open, you don't need to bring that top hand. You can bring that hand to the hip, so coming into a little half moon pose if you wish. So hand comes about 9 inches from the same side. That's it, as that standing leg. You can try a little bind here, so you can actually take the hand behind you and allow your little hand to just come into the waist. Gives you that opening, that side opening as well, and you're really thinking about kicking back into the wall, that foot. And wherever you are, turning back and just taking a little toe squat, little balance here, and draw yourself back up. Allow the chest to open. Hands to heart or resting hands on the knees. And then hands come to the mat again, lift up the hips. We're going to work on the other side. So gentle standing split, so foot can be pointing down, doesn't need to aggravate any lower back. And then work on your balance. And your concentration as you draw yourself up into one-legged mountain. Allowing softness in the arms. And just in your own time, have another play with that, going down, forwards into that standing split. And in your own time, coming back up to that one-legged mountain. And then just holding that with your drishti, make sure you're not holding your breath. Maybe Emma, just bring your top body forward slightly. That's it. And then allow yourself, we're coming down to that half moon, to transfer, come into the standing split first. If you've got a block, placing the block to give you a little bit of height on the earth. And then allowing yourself to come into a little half moon. So the way I transition to half moon is I'm facing forwards, and then as my toe turns out, that's when my kind of side body starts to work too, so we're facing the side. Probably benefit from a block, Vicky, there on your hand, and it would give you height. Oh, bless you. And give you lots of height then. You can use it on its side too. That's all right. And then all the way forwards, bring the feet together and just allow yourself just to sink gently into little toe balance. And take a moment here. And then draw gently down to the mat. See if you can come down. No hands. Yay. No head injuries. And then we're just going to take a little bit on the back as well. So we're just going to take a roll down here. Gentle. And if anyone's cooling down, just tell me and I'll put another little flow. And then draw the knees in and just squeeze the knees just gently into the body, and just allow yourself a little bit of movement here. It might be side to side. It might be just circling the knees gently, so you're massaging the lower spine, base of the lower spine, one way and the other. And then bring the feet back to the mat, knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat, and then come into bridge, just lifting up the hips, pushing through the hips. You might want to walk the heels very slightly back towards you, but I want you all to check that your knees are not going out the way and that they're in line with your hip points. So Emma, just bring your knees, that's it, just adjust your knees slightly in. Vicky, you might want to bring the feet apart slightly so that the feet are hip width apart as well. So your feet, that's it. You can, if you wish, take a bind with the hands underneath you and clasp the hands underneath you. And if you're still feeling the love for bridge, you can also take the hands behind you and allow, if you've got no shoulder kind of injury, allow the arms to come behind you as well. Push a little bit higher into the hips if you want. And then draw all the way back down to the mat and bring the knees gently into the body. Cross the ankles, and if you want to, take hold of the feet and just watch your spine. I'm going to rock and roll all the way back up to the mat, and just take a little roll if you want, just back up and down. And then we're going to come into a little reverse plank. And we started the practice today, I'll show you, where we had that little lift through the front of the body.
and you can do that as an option if this is something that doesn't suit you, okay? Right, we're going to bring our feet again in line with our hip points and our hands behind us gently, just underneath the shoulder. And then what we're going to do, we're going to lift up the hips and come into a beginning of a reverse plank. Now, you don't have to do this, you can play with the other option. And then come all the way back down. I'm going to show you the next stage of the full pose, and again, you don't have to do this either. So you've got lots of different kind of ways along the route. So we're going to come up, and then I'm going to take my feet forwards. This is quite strong. Zip the feet up, my ankle doesn't like it particularly. And then if you wish, allow the head back. But please be mindful, and I'm really keeping the hips up high, and that ankle is not wanting to stretch. So for me, the easier option at the moment is a wee reverse plank, but it's quite tricky on the shoulders, so that's why I've given you the option of the hip lift, which is the simpler supported version. Have a play if you want, just before we start kind of really kind of cooling down. That's lovely, Emma, well done. Those hands, are they comfy, Emma? Just slightly splayed out that way. You're happy. It's normally the same index fingers facing forwards. However, it depends on shoulders.
Okay.
So it's just wherever they're. That's a lovely pose, well done. It's quite a strong pose, Corey.
It's harder than it looks.
Yes. And that's why I've given you lots of different options to work up to it. My ankle just doesn't want to flex, and so that's something I need to work on. That's it, so you're working, well, that was a really, really lovely line. So you're working towards that, so that's why just to lift the hips and starting here is actually quite good strength in that, and allowing you just support of that neck. It's an interesting pose, and while we're here, if you want to come into Supta, no, we'll just do Baddha Konasana actually. It is an interesting pose because it looks like it's just a long line and it's easy, but it's quite strenuous on the arms, the upper arms, so you'll be feeling that coffee pulling tomorrow. And you can fold here if you wish, if the hips allow. Just allow the body, wherever you are, you can always use the elbows and support the head and the hands, or you can just draw the elbows round the knees if it's not for you with hips. And then draw yourself legs out long, Dandasana. Tuck the tailbone just in, hands come just to the side. And we're going to take the right foot over the left and the left foot sweeping behind. Variations here, you can thread. So I've got mirroring you, my right leg, my right arm, and I'm threading through, and I'm just clasping gently, and I'm using that as a bind to then stretch and lift my spine. You can take a further bind by taking the arm back round you. There's lots and lots of different variations for these twists, or you can use the traditional, bringing, it's wherever's comfy, whatever suits you. Playing. All the way back to Dandasana, so unraveling. And come to the other side. And again, whatever suits you, you can thread and take a wee bind. Or you can use the arm. And it just gives a different, everyone gives a little different stretch. Or wrapping the arm around the knee.
Breathing into this twist. And then unraveling all the way to the mat. And find yourself space to come all the way back again. Allowing yourself to draw and allow the knees to come together and the feet to walk to the edge of the mat. And in that constructive rest pose, just settle the spine, allowing the natural curve of the spine. And take a moment here to inhale. If you're cooling down, just pop another layer on. And then gently allow the knees to start to kind of walk to either side of the mat. Supine twist. Back and forwards. Maybe pausing, you might even want to stack the feet and allow the knees to come together. Try and keep the shoulders in contact with the mat if you're coming into a fuller twist. Working on one side, allowing yourself space. I'm just going to put my jumper on. And then allowing yourself to come to the other side if you wish. All the way back to center. Knees into the body. And then just squeeze the knees. You might just want to gently circle the knees. And then allow one leg long, keep one knee into the body. And then just swap back and forwards. A little stretch here. Hands might even come to the side of the mat, or they might be supporting the knee, it doesn't matter which, whatever's comfy. Bringing the knees into the body. And allowing the feet to ground back into that constructive rest pose. So you might bring the feet either side and allow the knees just to touch. Feeling that kind of curve of the spine just on the yoga mat. And then allow your body to start to settle. And then if you have a blanket, we're going to move towards a relaxation. So start to get yourself comfy. Socks, jackets, hats. Masks are warm as well. Are you warm enough, Anna? Okay, you warm enough? Yeah. And allow yourself to come down into Shavasana. And when you come into Shavasana, just shuffle the shoulder blades and make yourself feel comfy. Bend the knees if you wish, if that's comfy for you. And then just become aware of that yoga mat and the body being supported. And allow the body to start to relax. So let the body feel heavy. Become more aware of the points of contact with the yoga mat. Maybe the back of the heels or the soles of the feet.
Maybe the back of the legs feeling heavy, or the hips. Allowing the arms to relax and just to melt. The back of the head to feel heavy. And then feel a wave of softness through the front of the body, between the brows, the jaw. Allow the face to soften. Allow the breath to soften. The arms to soften. And the hips. And then bring that breath back where the exhale is slightly longer than the inhale, whatever count suits. And then after a while, allow the breath just to rise and fall. And allow yourself to notice where the breath is starting and where the breath is ending. And just allow that softness. Becoming aware of sounds beyond the yoga mat. Maybe hearing the wind in the trees. And bring your awareness back to the body. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And very gently starting to bring awareness to the fingers. Starting to bring awareness and movement to the toes. And then very slowly, and only when you're ready, move yourself onto your right hand side and pause, maybe bringing the knees into the body. Whenever you're ready, joining me back in easy pose, Sukhasana. Bringing hands to the heart, and just for a moment pausing